realize that this is in my past relationship, has nothing to do with it. They're different people. What happened before won't necessarily happen now. And, trust that she's a mature person herself and she won't, do the same thing that the other person did. I don't usually get very immersed in VR because my PC is whack, so my graphics are like super low quality, so it doesn't feel very immersive, but I still enjoy it. It's a pretty map, has a good view. The water effects are cool. But yeah, that's basically it.
Your name and what you'd like to be called. What would you like to people to know you as?
My name is João Lopes, and right now I'm Kermit the Frog, so you can know me as that.
How old are you, or what age range are you in?
Okay, I'm 20 years old. I am in college, I think. I don't know what the translation is, as always.
Where were you born, and then where do you live now?
I was born in Portugal, Lisbon, and right now I'm living in Setúbal, Herdade da Aroeira.
What languages do you know, and then what languages are you interested in learning?
I know Portuguese, Spanish, English. I would like to learn either Chinese or Japanese, and besides that, I would like to get the heavy Canadian accent.
Now to slap you silly with this next one. Are you ready for the tough question?
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Uh-huh.
Your brown eyes. Oh shit. Oh god. Oh. Wait. Okay.
Oh damn.
You. Okay, so my favorite color, the like army green, I guess.
So why army green?
I feel like saying black would be too generic, too edgelord, and I don't know. Army green is the favorite color I like the most on my clothing.
Okay. Well, so black is your actual favorite color?
I like both of them equally, but when somebody asks me which one I like more, I will say dark green because black seems generic and seems kind of edgelord.
Okay, so on a scale of 0 to 10, how truthful are you with yourself? 0 being I lie to myself all the time, and 10 being I never lie to myself.
Probably like an 8. Wait. Okay, yeah, about an 8. I tend to negotiate with myself, and when I do that, I kind of, I don't exactly lie, but you're doing a little dance.
Yeah,
I do
water.
like. Okay. I normally like what's it called? I give more value to the things that would incline me towards what I want to do instead of what I should do.
Okay, and that's where the line comes in. It's fine. Yeah, I can. Yeah, man, I can do that.
Yep, exactly. Problems that I have right now. I am still a little bit conscious with my body. Sometimes, like, I watch a lot of NBA games, like Zion Williamson. I look at his body and I'm like, damn, I wish I had like a third of that. Mainly because the girl that I'm dating right now, she is like more fit than I am. She's like, yeah, and I'm a skinny guy, so I would like to feel that I would make her feel comfortable and safe around me. And past relationships, like, I noticed that they wouldn't feel like comfortable jumping into my arms or stuff like that, and that made me kind of conscious about
Wait, when you say
how I
jumping
make
into
them
your
feel.
arms, Do you mean like you carrying them?
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. Like
Okay.
piggyback rides, everything, stuff like that. They'd be like, "Oh no, don't worry, you're gonna get yourself tired." You know, I'm not that skinny, by the way. I swear to God. Like I could carry them, but I guess they didn't feel too safe because I'm not super
Yeah,
buff.
that's just really funny because your avatar's not gonna do you too much justice. It's like, like look at his arms.
I'm not this skinny, I swear. So, but that I see that like as a superficial thing. I can always improve it. I think
Okay.
the reason that my body is the way that it is, it's because some people when they're stressed out or anxious, they will eat a lot, and some people will just not eat at all. And I'm the type that does not eat when I don't feel like I'm, okay. If I'm sad or anxious, I will just not be hungry for a long time. If there's like not an easy food for me to eat and I'm sad, I just won't eat for like an entire day if it comes down to it.
God damn.
But yeah, it's not good. It doesn't happen as often lately, but and also yeah, I have a hard time gaining weight because I will get like 3 kilos in 2 months of like eating a lot of food, working out, and then I'll lose them in like a week if it even gets to that much. But I guess these are all like superficial things. I struggle a lot with finding out what I really want to do. I will like half-ass commit. Oh, I don't know if I can say ass. Okay, so I guess that would be the more serious kind of problem, just not knowing what I want to do. We had the conversation in the past about like what's it called? People who aren't good at their job, like oh, whatever. That sums it up. I don't want to be somebody who does their job half-assed. I would like to be like a respectable member of society. If somebody needs me to get something done, I would like to be able to get it done and get it done as best as it could be. So where I'm at right now, whatever I'm doing, the motivation comes and goes too frequently. And so even when I'm motivated, the fact that I'm not committing to like 100% to it makes me feel less motivated because I don't like doing things half-assed. I would rather just do it 100%. It makes me feel a lot better. But if I start feeling like I'm starting to screw up or just procrastinate or whatever, I will just feel like I've fallen behind or that I'm doing a bad job already and maybe I just should pick something else up. Other problems of the past, I had a lot of problems with my family. We had a very dysfunctional family. My father was like raised in a very old family. His parents didn't really raise him. He was raised by the maids, basically. Yeah, and that sounds like some king stuff. So as a father, he was always there with the financial support, but he wasn't a very loving father. He would go away from our house for like months and not say a thing, and then show up for a day or two and then leave again without saying anything. So my mom is like the opposite. She felt like because my father was absent, she had to make up for his absence, and she had no idea what she was doing. I don't blame her, but she would be like too severe with her punishments, or like punishments that would be for nothing at all. Or for example, I used to like love playing battery. Is that the name? I don't think
You
the
used to love
drums,
playing
I
what?
think. The drums. I think it's the drums.
Yeah, you're talking about the
Yeah.
drums, right? You know, da-da-da-da.
Yes.
Yeah, the drums.
Yes. Okay, so that was back when I was like with very severe depression, I wouldn't leave my room for, I remember I didn't leave it for almost an entire year. I would leave it, but just, I wouldn't hang out with friends, I wouldn't do anything that I enjoyed, I just played PC all day. And at that time, the only thing that I had that I was actually like enjoying was the drums. And I don't remember why she was grounding me, but she was trying to take away my drums, and I was like, that's the only thing that I genuinely enjoy right now. And we had a fight, and she broke the drums right in front of me. I don't know, it felt too extreme. And she would also yell a lot at me because she's had a very hard life. You know, one of my brothers died, and you know, my father didn't really support my mother at all, and also my father cheated on her like 4 or 5 times. And my mom had no way to let her anxiety, her problems out. She didn't talk to anybody about it. She just let it all in. And I think that kind of made the way that she acted with us kind of toxic, because she would yell constantly. She would get us grounded for things that it isn't like something that we were doing bad. It's just that she's in a bad day, and just so she would ground me for, you know, small things or things like that. So I feel like lately it's gotten better. You know, I haven't cut the ties with my dad, because even though he's not very present, it isn't, you know, I think he has the right to not be if he so wishes. And at the age that I'm now, it doesn't really matter too much. Although he is trying to be more present, even though it feels weird. Like the other day, he came to me and he didn't come to me with a text. He said that he was proud of me, and I was like, the fuck? I didn't know how to react to getting that message. And yeah, it was super weird, super uncomfortable hearing that from him. Because, like, not even kidding, for my whole life, he didn't ever compliment me like that. It felt like he wasn't a father, he was more like a guidebook to life. So every time that I wouldn't know something, but not on an emotional level, like just in terms of what to do with school or sports or my body, since he's a doctor, he would help me out with that. So yeah, it felt like he was going a little bit outside of the norm. So I was shocked by that. My mother, she's taking like a psychology lessons, and so I think that's helped her calm down, and she's becoming a lot more understanding, I guess. Comprehensive is a good word. So that has helped to calm things down inside the household, because whenever my dad would come back, they would always fight, like up to 3, 4 a.m. They'd be yelling at each other, and then I would try to stop them and get them to just go like into each of their rooms so they wouldn't argue all night. And yeah, we get pretty heated, and it would mess me up to hear the way they would argue. It kind of in my first relationships, actually in the first one this didn't happen, but in the second one we would yell at each other. It was so weird. I don't know why I did it. I don't like yelling at people at all. So that was a problem that I kind of, I guess, seeing how my parents were, it kind of moved on to how I was. Well, yeah, it doesn't happen anymore. I've been focusing on having a good relationship with the person I am now, and she's like amazing with it. She helps me in every way she can. She goes along with what I want, and she, you know, I don't feel like I'm trying to have a relationship by myself. She actually like gives her, her thoughts, gives her opinions. It doesn't feel like I'm the only one trying to make things work. And yeah, that's actually the best thing that I have right now. Which I know you won't like it, but it really is. I think that.
Yeah, no, fuck having support, no girlfriend, no friends allowed.
No, you gotta be good by yourself. Fuck everybody else. Like, I get that, but
No, you're allowed
I
to have
just don't
support.
think it's how I. No, I know, but depending on it too much.
Yeah,
I can be
that would be
okay
the
by
danger.
myself, but I'm okay by myself. I really am. I know that I can be fine by myself, and it doesn't matter. I just feel like having somebody in your life, you know, you have your own interests and the things that you are used to, and when you meet somebody, you're like, you open yourself to a whole new world of experiences and new things. And like the perspective from another person, like your friends, even if they're the closest friends, you won't always get like, it won't open you a new world by being their friend. But while you're in a relationship with somebody, I feel like, you're truly, you know, having a new experience, experiencing something new. And not only that, but the way that I was raised, the love isn't something that you give to anybody. It's something that you only give to one person. For example, when my last relationship ended, I was talking with my parents and my brothers about it, and I was like trying a lot, and nobody would even stand up to hug me, or they would just sit there listening. And that's just how my family is most of the time. We don't really share hugs or emotional I don't know. So, and I really do not feel comfortable hugging somebody that is either not my girlfriend or like a friend in need, because other than that, contact feels very weird. I don't like being touched by somebody who I don't fully trust. Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Get your hand away from me! So I think that's a me problem. I don't know if it's a problem or if it's okay, but I'm fine with it either way. I like the idea of only trusting one person to be with you like that.
Yeah, what I
Although
kind of
if
hear
it's
from that
somebody,
bit is you sort of make it special. Like you're the one person that I hug and that I give affection to.
yeah, I feel like that's a thing that you only should give to one person, and that might be the wrong mentality. But if I'm gonna live with somebody for the rest of my life, I don't want to make it something that I could, just meet somebody and yeah, okay, let's go, whatever. I want to make it like, okay, you're the one, and I'm gonna try till the end with you, and I'm not gonna give up, and I don't want to share this with anybody else. So that's the mentality that I got from my mother, and that's also another heartbreak that she has, because she was raised by her grandparents, and they were like the cutest couple, and they would solve every problem that they had. They would never yell at each other, and she kind of wanted that for herself, and she didn't get it at all. So yeah, but I've been trying to do everything right, every problem that I have, everything that I think is bothering me or wrong, I will, talk to her with, obviously, I don't feel like we ever tried to hurt each other. We never tried to yell at each other. We never did like anything toxic. It was all very like, I love you, you love me, we want things to be okay, we want to be happy. So let's just talk it out. And if we can't come to a conclusion today, we'll talk again tomorrow. And if things don't work out, then they don't work out. But we're going to try to make things right. We're not going to yell at each other. We're not going to try and hurt each other. We're just trying to be happy over here in our own little corner. And I think that's everything. I guess I would like a little bit of help on, how to have a healthy relationship and how to, try and make everything work out. Because lately, that's like taken up like 50 or 60% of my head. It's like, how can I make sure that this works out? But even though like I feel like I don't need to, I'd still do it. I'd still think for the whole day of, am I doing something wrong? Could I make something go better? So yeah, maybe that.
Well, okay, so before we jump into that, everything else you just talked about, was that like more of problems in the past?
Yeah, some of them, most of them were.
So just everything with your family and your dad and your mom and just how your family is, and just all those are sort of things that you've worked through over time?
Well, with my family, I don't like the way we are, but I think like my father is already like completely absent almost, and my mom, she's doing her own thing, and my brother is also doing his own thing. So I don't think there's really a lot that I can do to bring the family together. And when I think that I have to be the one to do that, I know this is kind of unfair. I I don't like the idea of me, the kid, having to be the one to bring the family together. It feels like that's something in my head.
That's
like,
not my job.
My goal is to be. Yeah, exactly. I want to be a great father, and if I was in my dad's or my mom's position, I would try. But I know it's complicated, though. I know my mom tries, but it just feels so weird because there's like this weird tension when my mom and my dad are together. And me and my brothers, my older brother, we do connect a lot. He's a great brother, but my middle brother, he's a good brother, yeah, but we are just completely different in the way that we are. Like, we don't match at all. So any interaction we have, it's very weird. It doesn't seem natural.
So, what would you say is the main problems of what you've sort of covered so far?
Even though I've gotten better, I still don't know how to deal with my emotions and my thoughts. I don't know. Every time that I come up with a solution or an idea of how to make something better, it feels weird that I can't really. Basically, the thing that bothers me the most is that I drown a lot in my emotions, and every time that I try to solve a problem, I just suffocate because it feels like whatever I come up with won't be the right thing, and most of the times after I try it, it just goes wrong, and then it just feels like I've made it even worse than it was before. So when I have like a problem with somebody, sometimes I will start feeling anxious because even though I have ideas, I feel like if I say them, it would make things worse. I think this is still a lot of things from my past relationship, because every time I would try to fix something, I would be made fun of, like the way that I try to fix it, or she would get even madder with it. And so, yeah, every time that I'm trying to talk with the recent person that I'm with, I feel like she's a very quiet person. She will take a while to answer back, and I get so anxious because in my head I'm like, oh, I probably messed up. She's probably thinking that I'm so stupid. She's probably thinking that I make no sense, that I'm childish, that I'm this, that I'm that. So, and I know that's a huge problem because when I get anxious, I will start going like, so why are you so quiet? What's in your head? What's going on? And it keeps on building up and it's also bad for her because I'm pressuring her into answering me, and I don't like doing that, but it really does feel suffocating to not know if what I'm saying is offending the person or just making things worse.
What I'm hearing from that, and I can pick apart, is critical thinking, negative thoughts, like overthinking, or being very critical toward yourself and like what you say and what you do to others, and you kind of worry if you offend someone or might make the situation worse by sort of clearing the air with how you feel or something that you're worried about, and sort of being guided by your emotions, or the anxiety that you're feeling. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yeah, this only happens with the person that I'm with. Everybody else, I just kind of got used to putting on a mask. So if they don't like me or if they have a problem with me, I don't really care, because it's not, in my head, it's not the real me that they know. It's just this mask that I'm wearing out in public, because when I'm with people that I consider my friends, I'm a clown. I try to make everybody laugh constantly. I say stupid shit. I do stupid shit. And whenever somebody doesn't like me, I don't really think much of it.
Wait, so you crap them out?
I crap them out. Yeah, exactly. I crap them out.
Cut them out of your life.
Yeah, not. They never were inside of it to begin with. Probably, if they dislike me, because I'm very upfront with that mask of mine. I will just show it completely to everybody. If I know you for 5 minutes or 5 hours, I will completely open up. I don't care, and you either like me or not. And if you don't, then we'll probably just never talk again, I guess.
We're very mature.
Yes. Very mature conversation over here.
Okay, so really, is most of the, this is basically regulating your emotions, right? Or just managing your negative thoughts and emotions. So is this just mainly with your significant other that you have? Like just any partners you have?
Yeah, pretty much. It started with, I still have a lot of scars from my past relationship, but I don't know if it's something that I could have worked out on by myself. I know it has to do with confidence, but like the confidence that I have with everybody else is a different confidence than what I have with the person that I love. I can be super confident with everybody, but with the person that I love, I will have my moments where I will get like super anxious or stuff like that.
Would you say that the standards are a whole lot higher because you want to do the best for them?
Standards for them?
Yeah, so is the standards, for how you are around your girlfriend a lot higher because you want to be the best for them?
Well, yes and no, because in my past relationships, I didn't care if I was mistreated, if they did, things that would hurt me or not. I just wanted to, feel happy with them. So even if they did something that I didn't like, I would just let it fly. Or if they did things that would indicate to me that either they were a bad person or that we were a bad match, I just say like, whatever, it doesn't matter. But now, if she does something that I don't like, I won't be rude, nor will I be like offensive about it. I will just say like, hey, you did this, I didn't really like that, and watch out for it. Try not to do that as much, because it bothers me, and I don't think that's the thing that you should be doing. And I think that's a good thing, because the last relationship I had, it was, the last months were awful, but because I just let things slide by, in my head it was all just stuff that it doesn't matter. We can work it out. And I knew that things were bad, but I wanted to keep trying because I knew we could fix them. But if I had opened my eyes, I would know that the person that I loved was long gone. She didn't love me one bit. She lied to me a lot because she kept me thinking that she loved me like I loved her until the very last moment. And so I guess that was my fault for not, keeping an eye out for certain actions and certain things she said.
Yeah, the signs.
Yeah, the signs, exactly. So it's like right now it's not only the signs, but it's like everything that could indicate that, it's falling down a hill, or she's like, I used to take a lot of abuse. She would, but not, I don't think this is physical abuse, but she would slap me, she would whatever. I didn't really care because it didn't hurt. She would yell a lot at me, we would cuss each other. It was stupid things. Like, I remember there was one time it was a really bad fight, and then, we talked it out, we promised it would never happen again. And then she did it again, like with things you would never say to somebody you love. And I remember I said, like, we talked about it. So we said this wasn't gonna happen. She's like, oh, but you did it the other time when that happened, and blah blah blah. Like, it just made no sense.
The main thing that we were focusing on is how to manage your negative thoughts and uncomfortable emotions with your significant other. So like how to not overthink and worry about like every little thing, because he talked about being very anxious like all the time when it comes to things with her.
I think I'm really scared of having it happen again. Me thinking that the person loves me and then out of nowhere leaving me. So I guess that's the way that I'm dealing with controlling that anxiety that I have with the idea of being left again. I know that this is all super toxic. I know it's not right. But at the same time, I have to look out for myself. I have to, take things for what they are. If the person is hurting me or showing that they don't love me, I have to address the things. That hasn't happened, but yeah, if there are days where we'll get something will happen that's not really okay, and unlike the past, I won't let it slide. I'll make sure we talk it out and we, either make up or just, I won't ignore these problems. Are problems that have been in my head for a long time, and I haven't really been able to get anywhere. Yes.
So, how helpful would it be to think about these things for hours in your head?
There have been a lot of times where doing this has helped, and has helped me come to conclusions that I think I wouldn't have otherwise gotten to. And it's either this or like talking to my friends or a psychologist, which I can't keep like depending on that for every problem that I have. At some point I have to be able to figure out my own feelings and understand myself instead of having to go to somebody else for that.
Have you ever thought about, writing them down or typing them up rather than just kind of keeping them?
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. So have you been doing it?
I did it for like about 3 or 4 weeks, I think. And the same thing happened. I just go around in circles, so that would annoy the shit out of me. Then I'd be reading it and I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? I said this before, shut up, nobody cares. So, yeah. The thing that I do is I go on walks with my dogs and I try to think things out. It's a mess. It's bits and pieces of feelings that I try to, patch together in different ways and see if it makes sense as to why I behave the way that I do. Okay, so story time. As a kid, I used to have this image in my head of who I would be when I was like 18 or 20 or whatever, and Mm, I'm not that person at all. I kind of don't like how emotional I am and how much I think about every single thing. I would like to feel like a more down-to-earth person, more balanced, so that I could one day be an example to somebody. And right now, I don't really know what's the correct path to get to that. And I try in so many ways, but how it doesn't feel like I'm headed in the way that I want to. It always feels like I'm missing it. Like what I'm doing isn't the right thing, isn't the thing that will make me a better person. Again, this isn't like a specific problem. It's just I don't know where to go with my life so that I can be an exemplary human.
Well, no, I mean that's a specific thing, you know, because once again I heard, you know, I want to be able to manage myself better so that I can be a calm and, you know, down to earth person, and then also at the same time, you know, so that I can be a respectable member of society, and trying to figure out what I need to do to accomplish both of those things.
Yeah, pretty much. Like as a kid, I used to see like these people of my age right now, 18-year-old, 20-year-old, and I'd be like, oh, they're so cool, they're so put together, they're so down to earth. And, you know, I kind of wish that I felt like that about myself, but I don't. Like, I have times where I'm really down to earth, and then I have times where I feel like I'm fucking stupid kid, or just like too nervous or too whatever. I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm a full person. Yeah.
We got there in the end. All right, so two main issues. So first one is, how do I manage myself better so I can be more level-headed? And then, you know, how do I find my path toward becoming a respectable member of society? And that one kind of requires a lot of unpacking. So we'll start with how do I manage myself? Well, first thing I probably ask about that is like, so what do you normally do to, you know, try and remain calm and collected?
I will either go for a walk or a run, get some fresh air, take a bath, something along those lines.
What I'm sort of getting from this is you are kind of asking about what to do more in the moment, because everything you just mentioned are like dedicated tasks or, you know, hobbies or ways of coping. But that's like kind of after something has happened, but not necessarily in the moment or, you know, during a build-up. So you're wanting to know how to manage yourself better in what situations? Is it just with your girlfriend or in general? Do you get emotional like with everything? Yeah, I need a little bit more detail.
I get anxious and emotional whenever I have to make a decision, whenever I have to be the one calling the shot. Because I guess I go on the run so I can think these things, but problem is, even if I think about them, I don't always get to where I want to, or I don't feel satisfied with this, what I've, you know, come up with in my head. So it makes me anxious to not know if what I'm doing is the right thing or not.
So is that the root of all of the anxiety? Is decision making and making the right decision?
Yeah, I feel like, yeah.
Okay, what about your decisions have to be perfect?
With the person on the receiving end agreeing and being okay with the decision that I made.
Are people always going to like or agree with things that you do?
Yes, that is my objective. Are you face palming? Come on, man.
Do you think everyone in the world is going to like you?
No.
So if everyone isn't going to like you, is everyone going to be agree or be okay with every decision you make?
I know they won't, but the thing is, I'm only trying to appeal to this one person. So I don't expect everybody to agree with me, but when it's something besides the person that I'm with, I'm okay with them not agreeing, or but when it is the person that I love, I feel like having disagreements and etc. is not good at all, because when you start stacking up disagreements and things like that, it's when the problems start.
Well, let me
coming
reference
in.
what you said earlier. You said it's beautiful to be with a partner or even a good friend who opens you up to new perspectives and experiences. Fundamentally, in those experiences, there are going to be very different things and points of views that you are not going to agree on. That's what makes it so exciting, is because it's not what you always do or agree with. All right, so what I heard was, on one hand, you really love differences because when you're with your partner, you explore new experiences and it's really exciting, and you wouldn't be able to experience this if you wanted everything to be, to agree on everything and be the same. And then there's, the other side of you right now that's talking about how you want her to agree with everything and there to be no differences, which is
No.
fundamentally what you're saying. No?
I think, yeah, probably what I said will lead you. That's not. I'm okay with disagreeing. Like I'm all for it. Please do. But I think this is also trauma for the past. Like my ex-girlfriend, when I would try to fix something, she wouldn't say anything back. She wouldn't say if she agreed, if she thought it was a good idea, bad idea. She would just go with it. And if she didn't agree with it, she would go with it, but she would be super toxic about it. Super toxic about it. Like if I said, can you not do this as much, or can you be careful when you do it, she would just completely cut it off and everything related to it, just never do it again. Which is, it wasn't like, it just showed that, like, I'm okay with being disagreed with, but I just don't want to feel like the person is just going along with it just because of going along with it. And because the person that I'm with right now, I don't know if she does that from time to time. Like sometimes I say things and she doesn't say if she agrees or disagrees and just goes along with it, and I don't know, like, are you okay with this? Is this what you want as well? Is because I don't want them to go along with what I say if they don't agree with it, but people do that sometimes, and I hate it because then they'll be resentful. They'll be
so does she do that? Is there any times where she's agreed with something and not communicated that she doesn't like what you're doing?
Sometimes she does, but then later on she comes out and says, like, I didn't fully agree with it and this made me feel this way, and then we talk it out. But it makes me anxious to think that she in the moment might just be going along with it to shut me up or to just stop arguing. Because it's not to shut me up, but I think that sometimes since I talk so much, she feels like I am what's it called, not grounding her, but like the things that your parents do to you when you fuck up. Because I don't want her to feel that way, because I don't feel that like that's what I'm doing. I'm just saying how it made me feel. And
I
guess putting
sort
her
of
down.
Scolding you for making a mistake, or not doing the right,
exactly,
doing something that she agrees with. Yeah.
I want her to feel like it's okay for her to make mistakes, and when I'm talking to her, it's not that I'm trying to say like, oh, you fucked up, you're an awful person, you're this and that. Like, I just want us to talk things out and like be okay again. I don't want to feel like I'm goddamn, I forgot the word again. I don't want to feel like I'm grounding you. I want to feel more like you did something I didn't exactly like it, and we're talking
Yeah,
about it,
it's
we're trying to
communicating.
fix. Yeah, I wanted, you know, make sure that she's just not going along for going along, and I don't want to say shut me up, but since she takes so much time to process her own emotions, sometimes she might, and then I feel like she will, start building out resentment because she is doing something that she doesn't agree with, and I don't want that. I want it to be like a consensual thing where we both agree on it and we came
So
to a decision together.
it sounds like you do and don't want her to be perfect at the exact same time. On one hand, you're like, well, I want her to be open and honest with me if she doesn't like something, but then on the other hand, you're like, well, she takes a while to process her emotions. You can't have both at the same time, Like, she's gonna have to go along with it. She has no idea whether she likes it or not. And then on top of that, she's probably just being a good partner and doing things to make you happy, and so she goes along with it, and maybe later she's just like, after processing it, I didn't really like that. So when flipping back to you, there's nothing you could do about that. There's no way that you could know because she has to take time to process. On top of that, like, you can't expect most people to process in like the blink of an eye. And on top of that, like, are you allowed to make mistakes, Xiao? Like, what I'm hearing, it sounds as though you want everything to be perfect all the time.
I want it to be perfect myself because I feel like if I make him, I can make a stupid mistake and it could ruin everything. I think certain actions, like one action, can make a person lose interest in you. I know it. I know it can.
All right. So let me ask you this. You technically, since we got here, you've made a couple mistakes, right? And maybe even before, when I met you and whatnot. So did I leave? Did I suddenly just delete you? Did it ruin the entire friendship between us?
You did leave, so yes, it did.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah, quit being a troll.
No, I know it won't, but I'm scared of messing up. I really am.
Okay, and why did I not disappear? Okay, so see again, look, you just made a mistake right there, and here I am. Right? So why is it that I did not disappear? Even though you might have done something that, like, I don't know, I disagreed with or whatnot. Why am I not gone?
Because you still enjoy my company, I suppose. But if you want to be loved by somebody, you have to be somewhat admired and respected by the person. If you make too many mistakes over time, it will.
Not exactly. What else? Why else might I still be here?
Because you want to hear my thoughts? Or help me?
What else?
Because me making a mistake doesn't mean I'm a shit person?
You're allowed to make mistakes. Hey, let me ask you something. Do I have to be perfect in everything that I do?
No, of course not.
Do I have to say the perfect words? Do I have to somehow manage to recap the 20-minute rant that you had? Word for word and bullet for bullet? Like, do I have to say like the perfect things all the time to, make sure that this interview is perfect for everyone watching?
Nope.
So?
I don't know. I think there's a different standard when I'm trying to be loved. Because, like, I've made a few mistakes since I've been here, but if I'm going to be with a person for the rest of my life, for example, with just this conversation, I've made like 4 or 5 mistakes. imagine that over 50 years. Like, so many things are stacking up over the years, and most people won't talk about what bothers them and what doesn't. They will just keep it inside themselves. And by the way, she takes time to process things, but I don't know if she would. For example, I feel like something's off after we've talked, and so later on, like in the next day or
Are people allowed?
however much time.
Does she have to be perfect and process things right away?
No. That's not. It's not about the
Okay.
time. It's just that,
You know,
for example, she.
No, I'm gonna stop you right there. You keep doing it. You want everything to be perfect. Everything. That's so much pressure, man. Why are like, not why, but like, okay, so you want to feel loved, and you don't want anything to go wrong, and you're burned from your past relationship. Is there anything helpful about carrying fears from a past relationship into a new one?
Well, it brings a lot of problems, but I know it's not good. Let me say this, please.
What about bringing? Please. I know but you've been broken recording for like the entire time. Let's just try working through this, and if you still remember, we'll go from there. What about bringing fear from a past relationship that didn't work into a new relationship? What about that is helpful?
No, it's not good at all. And I try my best not to be fearful, but when I have these down times where I just, I feel like something's wrong and she's not, talking about it, it will come back and it will be like,
well, let's think about this.
She's...
Why is it not helpful? Why is it actually why is it potentially hurtful toward your current relationship? Or you?
Well, because I'll imagine scenarios. In my head I'll think, well, I probably fucked up. She's probably already in her head thinking I don't like him, I'm done with him. Things like that.
Okay, so you start to get negative thoughts, and then these negative thoughts start to build up your anxiety, and then your anxiety, from what you said, leads to making decisions that make things worse and pressuring her to answer you about something that may not even be true. She's processing, she's thinking, she doesn't know. And then you go on a broken record, you go in circles, and then you come full circle back to the same thing again, and you're pressuring her again to answer you. Is that helpful for a relationship?
The pressure part is like, the thing about her processing her emotions is that even if she has already processed her emotions, she won't say anything. She'll keep on going with it. So she only does tell me how she felt, like the day after or whatever, because I ask. I say, listen, you still seem a little bit down. You don't seem very happy. Like, what's wrong?
Are people allowed to be upset? Are people allowed to be sad or mad and not take it out on the people they care about?
I know, but...
Is she allowed to feel?
Yeah, of course she is, but...
I
feel like
Zhao,
if she doesn't...
Holy shit, man. You're putting so much pressure on her. Like, you gotta have everything, like, fucking snap right away. Like, come on, man. Is that fair to her?
I would be okay with... No, but I just... If I felt like she would not start building up resentment for me, and I'd feel okay. Like, if I knew that, okay, she might be, feeling down today.
What evidence do you have for her feeling that way? Because what I keep hearing is that because my last relationship didn't work, I have got to make sure that I do every little thing in my power, every second, right now, to make sure that the what's happening right now with my current relationship is not what's happening in my last relationship. I gotta make sure I'm looking for the signs, even if I gotta create them myself.
I would just like to. Yeah, it has a lot to do with trauma. But yeah, you're right. Since it has happened before, where I felt like she wasn't gonna tell me unless I brought it up and I tried to talk about it. Every time that I feel like she's off, I feel like maybe if I don't talk about it, she won't bring it up and she'll just keep it to herself. And I don't want that. I don't want her to start stacking up things that bother her. I want to feel like, whatever it is that's bothering her, she won't let it stack up in her head. Because, I think that's what could ruin it.
So what you're talking about, do you know what that is?
No.
What does it mean when you have the confidence that somebody will do something? What do you have for them, or you would
trust.
Yeah. So what I've been hearing a lot of is no trust at all, or maybe just a little bit, because you fear that she's gonna do something similar to your last relationship, which is kind of odd because I also heard you say like she's doing a lot of things, like she's reciprocating in the relationship. She's telling you what she's thinking and feeling, but heaven forbid it's not within like the next 3 seconds of you having a doubt about something. Like she has to think about it for a day, but like at least it's she tells you. What do you think would be the most helpful in this situation?
To trust in her.
And what is that
Again,
trust look
trauma.
like?
Letting her, knowing that she will also be doing her best for things to go right.
Well, what else? Like how can you so what does it look like? Think about what it looks like and what can you do on your part, or allow her to do, that will show that you trust her. Because right now it seems like you don't trust her at all.
Yeah, she let her take her time. I guess I would have had my mindset on trying to fix things, because in my past relationship I just let things go and I trusted too much. I believe that she wouldn't,
Too much.
And that she was actually gonna try. Exactly. You're trusting too much is like she was giving signs that things weren't right, and I just would think like, no, it's okay. We all have our down times where we just don't feel like it. So, I know. Because I remember in the end, she would lie to me. She would say that she was busy doing stuff from school or whatever, and then she would be playing League of Legends or whatever. And I'm not like oh no, you can't have your own free time. It's like she would say, no, I can't right now because I'm doing school stuff, and then she'd be in that moment playing League of Legends.
Okay,
right.
So going from here, so as far as trusting somebody, we'll talk about what those qualities look like, or rather, what are the qualities of a good partner? Because, trust is sort of bundled up into that. So if somebody's a good partner, there's trust. Typically you feel safe, they're reliable. What else does a good partner look like?
They're level-headed, calm. I think rational, but that's the same as level-headed, I suppose.
Right.
Loving, caring.
They gotta...
I don't know where you're trying to get.
So
they gotta trust me back?
Well, sure. You gotta build trust with them. But it's the thing that you've wanted the most, the thing that relieves your anxiety. She's gotta do what?
Talk about her emotions more, I suppose.
Yeah, or, communicate. feelings, thoughts, what she's thinking, if she likes something or not. Communication is key in a relationship. So, loving your similar interests, spend time, you communicate, you trust each other. So that's what a good partner looks like. Now look at your other relationship. Cold, distant, unreliable, or rather, even if she was all of these qualities at one point, she was very inconsistent with them. And you mentioned before that you guys had a lot of arguments as well. You would try and communicate something, and she would shut you down. Now I'm going to ask you to look at your current relationship. What qualities out of the ones we talked about are there? Are all the boxes checked?
Yeah. The communication, I'm not sure, because since I've had to bring it up so many times, she probably would have talked about them later, but since I don't know that for sure, I still don't know.
Okay.
Everything else, yeah. 100%.
So let me give you a scenario. You sit down with her and you say, hey, maybe even you can come up with your own way of doing things, or your own solution for this particularly, but I'm saying, here's the hypotheticals. You sit down with her and you're like, hey, I know I've been sort of really pushy lately, or pressuring you, or just wanting to know like what you're feeling and whatnot, but what I'm gonna do right now is I just want you to know that if there's anything that upsets you or bothers you, to just please tell me about it. And from here on, I'm gonna trust that you'll do that when something bothers you.
I think she would probably go along with it.
And going on from there, like what do you think about that? How would you feel?
I think I'd feel more comfortable, especially if she, I started noticing that she did. And she would come and talk to me whenever something bothered her.
And does she have to talk to you right away, all the time? Is she allowed to maybe have a slight frown on her face without you thinking that, oh my god, she's gonna break up with me? Is she allowed to experience her emotions, Zhao? Is that allowed?
It will most definitely leave me anxious, but yeah, I will try my best not to make up things in my head about it.
Well, okay, so you're gonna feel anxious. What can you do to calm yourself down? How would you reassure yourself?
Probably realize that this is in my past relationship, has nothing to do with it. They're different people. What happened before won't necessarily happen now. And trust that she's a mature person herself, and she won't, do the same thing that the other person did.
Outstanding. So, just to sort of recap, you had a lot of... It sounds as though, so just making the right or wrong decision. We could go more into the other half of that, I suppose, but the main thing here is that you want to make sure that you make the right decision for your partner. And then that sort of, delved into managing your emotions, and then that sort of got into, well, the reason or the root of like all of this is, in my past relationship, things were pretty bad, and I fear that these bad things are gonna, come into my present relationship. But when I stop and think about the qualities that she has and everything that's happened between us, all of the boxes are checked for, her being a good partner, and, well, maybe I just need to trust her. She's not the same person that, I dated the last time. And it's okay that she doesn't have to process her emotions right away and tell me exactly what I want to know. She's allowed to feel her emotions and have ups and downs, and maybe not all of them have to be about me. Maybe it's just she's human. And when I start to think about all of these things, I can remind myself that she is not the same person. This is not the last relationship. Things are different. Does that kind of sum it up, capture it? Does that sound about right?
Yeah, very much so.
As far as the other half of making the right decision all the time, what would you think about how to, what would you think about that one?
I think that's only there because I fear that the person will, even if I make the wrong decision, that they'll just go along with it. So if I can deal with the part where she will not go along with it if she doesn't like it, then that will be dealt with as well.
And that ties into she's allowed to be human and experience emotions. She's allowed to process. You don't have to put so much pressure on yourself to do the right thing because you trust that she's going to tell you if she doesn't like something. But the other half of this, is you have an expectation of perfection because you fear that something is going to go wrong. So if she is okay with you making mistakes, if I'm okay with you making mistakes, what would allow you to be okay with making mistakes?
Feeling comfortable with it, feeling like the image that people have in their heads of me will not change from one bad decision or one stupid moment.
And do you have evidence of making a single mistake and people's image of you drastically changing and leaving you forever? Did I do that? Did she do that?
No, sir. I mean, only people who I didn't really care for, but besides that, no.
Yeah, so friends and family especially, Can you tell me about any time that you've made one mistake and everything burned down to the ground?
I feel like there have been times where I've made one mistake many times, like the same mistake many times, because the person did not tell me that it was a mistake. So in that sense, yes. Making one mistake once, no.
Yeah, I'm not... The people are still there, though, is the point that I'm trying to make, is that they didn't leave, they stuck around, and if they didn't tell you that something bothered them, that's on them. That's not your fault. If people aren't honestly communicating with you and telling you, fairly soon if something bothers them, give them a day, damn it, that, you're allowed to make mistakes. Do you have to make perfect decisions?
No, sir.
What can you tell yourself that will allow you to be imperfect?
Maybe that people will still be there even if I mess up.
So, she'll still be here.
I believe so, yeah.
Will I be here?
I don't know. Maybe if your VR crashes, maybe you won't. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, you will.
Man, that shit sounds fucking habitual. You're like, find the problem. Fucking.
Oh yeah. I guess I do that because I feel like I'm kind of, or at least I felt like I was alone in doing that. Like the person never wanted to talk about problems, so every time there was a problem, I had to figure it out by myself. Sniff it out.
Yeah.
Like for real, I had no help into. She wouldn't tell me what was wrong, and I had to find it all by myself. And I would,
think about how stressful that is. Do you want to deal with that for the rest of your life?
Fuck no.
Okay, so are you gonna spend your time with people who don't communicate with you? If that's what happens?
9.
There you go. You don't have to, obviously you'll interact with people at work and other places where you'll kind of run into that. But as far as your personal life, you don't have to keep people around who don't communicate. That's just rough. And you know exactly firsthand what it feels like. Oh yeah. So you want to be an outstanding member of society, but how do I get there?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so what is the path? Well, you've already kind of said some of that yourself. What is the path to becoming an outstanding member of society? Okay, well, how do you envision somebody who's a good member of society and well respected? You know, what do they do and what qualities do they have?
Well, they are calm. They are also not skinny like I am. That's very important.
Are you sure about that?
They will. I'm kind of joking about that part, but
Okay.
that's something that I would like to see myself as. But that's besides the point. So, calm, level-headed. If they have to get something done, they will. They won't get overrun by their emotions. They won't. Oh god, can you hear this noise, by the way? The banging noise.
Yeah.
God damn it. Jesus.
It's fine.
Dogs
Don't
start
worry
fighting
about it.
somebody.
Yeah, Joe, does your mic have to be
I hope
perfect?
Yes, it does. It's fucking shit right now. God damn it. Yeah, your editor is gonna have a load of work on this one. I'm so sorry. Basically those three, especially the having a problem getting it fixed, or having something that needs to be fixed and they just fix it and they know what to do.
So outstanding member is level-headed, they're competent in what they do, they're reliable, and they get things done. That's what I've heard so far. Is there anything else?
I think those are the main things, yeah.
So let's kind of dive into these three traits and how it applies to you and how can you get there. So we'll skip level-headed for a second and go straight to competent. You know exactly what it takes to be competent in your school, in your schoolwork and college in the future. You just have to study and get good grades. Know what you're talking about, get some hands-on experience, and be able to do what you need to do well. I don't think competence is going to be an issue for you, especially when you want to be an outstanding member of society. It's not something I hear from everybody, all the time. So from my opinion, I think you're going to have competence taken care of. The next thing is, well, are they dependable and do they get things done? Are they reliable? Okay, well, let's look at you and your life and things that you have needed to get done. Have you always been reliable, or is that something that needs some work? You feel as though reliability needs some work, so this is your path to becoming an outstanding citizen. So what about it needs work?
I will procrastinate a bit, and if there's too many problems in the way, I'll just either depend too much on somebody else or try to avoid the work at all. I don't have many examples of this happening, but that one time example. I didn't like it. Yeah, it was basically my PC couldn't run the program, so I had to leave most of the work to them. I still did most of the things that I could, pretty much everything that I could that didn't involve the program, but 80% of the work was with the program, so I felt like shit, having to have them do that part of the work and not being able to help.
Well, hold on. How does this go back to being this is more competent than reliable? You're allowed to, fail. You're allowed to fail over and over until you understand something. Competence doesn't have to be at the speed of light. You can take some time to understand and get good at something. But when you talk about being reliable, and you said you procrastinate, what happens where you feel like you should be, and that's a dangerous word, should, but you should be more reliable. What does that look like?
Somebody needing my help, or somebody needing my emotional support, or help in school, I don't feel like I am the right person to help them. I would like to feel like if they come to me with problems that I could help them,
But that's competence.
no matter
again.
what it was.
That's not, I mean, like, sure.
Is it?
So, okay, let me ask you this. So, if somebody needed your help with moving, you know, they needed an extra hand, like, would you be there?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, if they needed you to walk their dog or watch their house or, you know, maybe drive them somewhere, like, would you be there?
Sure.
Yeah, so those are things that you can do, and it sounds like you're always there, which is reliable. So I'm kind of confused. Like, are you actually telling me that you're a pretty reliable person then? Do you even really need to work on this?
If it is too much work, I will probably not be as reliable because I will procrastinate a lot. For example, you asking me for this interview, I procrastinated so much. Like legit until the last day, I didn't tell you the hour or the date, or I didn't fill the questionnaire. Is it? Yeah, I think that's the word. So things like that. And then I was thinking in my head, like, wow, what a fucking dick. Like, Ryan's helped me a lot, and here I am, taking until the last day to fill this out and do this for him. So, yeah.
Okay,
things like that.
So as much as I don't want to be an example, okay, so let's look at this. So I had a form that you had to fill out, and we needed to sit down and agree on a time, and it sounds like you knew that this had to happen. So what went wrong? Like, let's start from the beginning here. Okay, so I message you, and I'm like, hey, okay, I need this form, and we need to talk about a time. All right, so hit play right here. What happened?
So first, since I've been dealing with a lot of stress from high school and the relationship as well, it just...
So you said you were in college now.
I don't know if it's college or high school. Is college like
What
the
grade?
last thing before you can get the job? Doesn't exactly... I'm in first grade of either college or high school. I think it's college though.
So, okay, I'm not sure how it is in Portugal, but from other countries I hear there's grades K through 12, and 12 is like senior year of high school in the US.
Yes, I finished that. I'm in the next step.
So do you call it university?
Yeah, university, exactly.
Okay, so you're in your first year of university. All right, so you're really stressed out from university. Okay.
Not really. It's kind of weird because I can't exactly know if am I doing okay? Am I not? Because this tests haven't started, and it's weird. I don't know.
Okay.
So it stresses me out that I.
Okay.
Oh, should I? Okay. Just not knowing if I'm doing okay or not, if I'm working enough, if I'm, ready for the tests and what else, or if not. I think that is stressing me out.
Okay, so we hit play, and you know that me in particular, I do need these two things, but it sounds like what I'm hearing is you're really preoccupied with other things that are stressing you out, and you're like, okay, well, all right. So he asked for these two things. Oh shit! Like I have tests that I might have to study for, or like I don't know if I'm doing well or not, and it sounds as though you are kind of starting to. You
there?
Yeah. Oh, did you hear
Procrastinate.
me?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I did.
Well, no, not procrastinate, but you're starting to
overthink.
Yeah. You know that there's not really you said there's nothing to study for. You kind of just gotta wait and that's it.
I don't know. Like in my head, I was like, okay, I gotta do it. Why the fuck am I not doing it yet? Why am I taking so long to do it? And then it came the last day, and I was like, wow, I still didn't do it. And it's not like I didn't have free time or I was studying constantly. I just felt like I had so much in my head or in my hands at the time. But that's like...
in your head?
Yeah, it's all in my head. Yep. Because like, I'm stressed out because I feel like I have...
Oh, sorry.
Huh? No, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, so before you had mentioned, well, I have this thing I do where I go around in my head in circles, for hours. And now I sort of invite you to look at that and be like, well, is this really helpful? I mean, I kind of go in circles about it and I don't really get anywhere. And then I feel very exhausted. And when I feel exhausted, I don't really do the things that I need to do, or or I procrastinate on them until the last second, to where now I have that fire under my ass of like, oh, I gotta do this right now.
Okay, yeah, that's probably related. And like I've been thinking a lot about things with the relationship, and so yeah, that's probably the reason why I haven't been dedicating myself as much, because I feel burned out trying to figure things out.
Well, I wasn't trying to say you were doing this or that, or thinking or feeling this or that. I'm just sort of pointing out some details here. Does that really resonate with you, though, of how you kind of are thinking in circles and exhausting yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Because then I get tired out of it. Yeah, I don't feel like doing the things that I had to be done because, yeah, I get tired.
Exhausted. This is interesting, because this particular moment of what you just said would actually answer a bunch of other people's questions about, worrying about what other people think of them, or why is this friend not responding to me if they are a friend, and just being aware of what other people are going through, and that they could be exhausted, because as Zhao just said, he's exhausted, and he procrastinated on some things related to me, and what it sounds like other people and situations.
For sure, I didn't really think about that would be the problem, but yeah, I actually think that just might be it. Like, a lot of people ask me for help in university, and I'd always be the first one to help, but like right now when people ask, I take like a long time to answer, and when I do, I don't really feel like helping.
So you are actually reliable. So you know what this means. So we got those 2 traits done for that outstanding member of society, and we actually get down to the last one that gets in the way of everything. Because if you were level-headed and you were to, manage your anxiety, calm yourself down, she's still gonna be here, I'm allowed to make mistakes, and try to, it sounds as though if you're going in circles with the solution over and over, you're not really getting anywhere. I'd imagine that probably within the first 5 to 20 minutes of thinking about the issue, if you come to a conclusion and you're not really getting anywhere in the next 5-10 minutes, it might be safe to say that you could stop at that conclusion and not think about it for the next 5 hours. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't know, it's weird, because sometimes I don't really get anywhere, and I just keep going and going and going.
What's going on in these moments? Because this is, I'd say we have everything covered as far as being level-headed, other than trying to this negative, or not like negative, but this thought loop. You're going in circles. I say this is probably the last thing that we'd want to try and talk about and work through. Okay, so walk us through a time when you got stuck in the same thought loop, or trying to find a solution for a long time. Like, what do those experiences look like?
Well, one of them is what we talked about not knowing how to deal with not knowing or understanding how the other person felt. Like, I think, how can I fix this? How can I make her feel like okay to open up with me? Because yeah, it's a different perspective from what I have. But in my head, if something bothers me, I don't need to know what the conclusion is. I'll just talk about it. And I know that that's not how everybody thinks, but in my head I was just, what can I do to make her feel okay with opening up with me? What can I do to, fix things? Like that. I would just go around and around, and I tried to do something, and I would feel like it didn't help, and then I just go to something else and keep thinking. Yeah, things like that.
Okay, and we did touch a bit on that with, just trust and being patient and reminding yourself that she's still staying here. But I'd also invite you to consider changing strategies in the sense of, well, if you're really thinking about something for a while, you might, Google and look on the internet and just get some different perspectives, something that's outside of yourself to, give, to put the thoughts to rest somehow. I'm not saying like, that you should do this, but it's sort of an idea that comes to mind, that is that rather than trying to figure everything out completely on your own, you may be helpful to reach out to friends or like online sources, and be careful with who you talk to and what you look up.
I got used to the idea that I had to deal with things by myself, because if I relied too much on somebody else, then I wouldn't be the person that I envisioned in my head, because I wanted to be able to fix things
everything.
by myself.
You want to fix everything
Yes.
by yourself.
I want to be, okay by myself and know what to do in whatever situation it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you want to be Mr. Macho Man, outstanding member of society. Is that person allowed to ask for help?
No. Definitely not. I'm kidding. Like, in the way that I see it, like, I would like to be the one helping, not the one being helped. And I feel like to be that way.
How does somebody become a master typically if they're just starting?
Yeah, I guess. Like,
you gonna walk into a fucking Brazilian jiu-jitsu dojo and just be like, and just whoop everybody's ass? Like, is that how you envision yourself? Like fucking white belt walking in and floors a black belt?
It feels weird. Like I've met so many people that just feel like they would know what to do, and
well, what evidence do you have?
I guess
for
I
that?
haven't seen them change.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
I don't, but like it's the vibes, man. It's the vibes.
Oh, okay. So are feelings facts? So just
facts?
So like you said before, you would get anxious about her maybe feeling a certain way, but was that factual? Did she suddenly want to break up with you just because you were worried about if you did something wrong?
No.
Okay, so things that we feel are not always, true. So just because you may see people's highlight reels on social media, whatever, Instagram and whatnot, how they always give that veneer, that tip of the iceberg, like my life is so happy and perfect. Okay, and then you go through some of those things yourself and you're like, wait, what the hell, man? How did I get here? This is so painful to get here. This wasn't all flowers and rainbows like they made it look. I had to suffer, I had to struggle, I had to study, I had to cry my way, through some of the things I'm dealing with. This wasn't what I expected at all. And then we come to find out that they went through all those same things too. They just didn't show you that. They hid it.
I guess I would probably be messed up as a father. For some reason, I thought about that. I think that I wanted to be the father that, didn't want to be too emotional. I guess that's wrong, though. I should show that it is okay and that is the process. Even if you are this ideal civilian, it's okay to, feel down or feel sad. stuff like that.
I wasn't really thinking it, but that was probably in the back of my mind somewhere. You know, it's perfectly okay to show emotions, and then the part I was thinking about was it's okay to make mistakes and ask for help. Because think about this. You have a son, and you never ask for help. What do you think he's gonna learn? And where do you think he's gonna be when he's
He
your
can't.
age? He's gonna
He's
be
not gonna ask for
20-year-old
help from
Zhao
anybody.
Jr., and he's gonna be like, oh shit, man, like what do I do about my current relationship? Man, I gotta figure it out. Where's the problem? And if you show him that you know that's okay, one day he's gonna come to me and be like, hey dad, so I'm kind of worried about my relationship right now, like, you know, what do I do? And you're gonna know exactly what to do.
Maybe. Very true. Yeah, I guess it's okay. Weird shit. This also has to do with the past. God damn it. You know, like in my past relationship, I talked to you when I had problems. She did not like that at all. Nor when I talked to my friends or my brothers. We got really pissed that I would do that. So I guess that kind of boxed me in out of talking with other people with my problems.
You gotta be aware of
I knew.
who you can trust, you know? You gotta know what a good friend looks like, a good partner, you know, good job. And you gotta know what a good you looks like. And for you, you know, you said confidence, reliability, level-headedness. And you have 2 of those down for sure. And you're gonna be working on the 3rd. Because I'd say after this, and this is where we sort of just transition into the you know, the goal setting, or you know coaching what we can do better. So what can you do moving forward to help with staying level-headed with your girlfriend and for being an outstanding member of society? What can you do to be more level-headed?
Well, first I think I'm gonna, you know, tell her the thing that you told me about, you sitting down with her and saying it's okay if you take your time, and trust her more, for sure. Try to believe that she will try to make things right and do what she believes will help us out the most. With myself, I would probably try to not stress out as much over messing up. I guess talking more about my feelings with other people and outsourcing a little bit about how I feel.
Do you have to be perfect?
No.
I
gotta work on overthinking.
Are you allowed to ask for help?
Yes, sir.
If you have a problem, you know, is it all right to, you know, find other sources and perspectives besides your own?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. You know, do people have to tell you exactly what they're thinking and feeling within the 3 seconds that you ask?
Nope.
What about one day?
I mean, depending on what it is, and yeah, I'd like to eventually hear instead of being hidden from it, I guess.
Okay, so that's good. That was kind of a curveball. I wanted to see, like, yeah, you should, if you're sitting there with your girlfriend and you're like, I love you, and she's just like, hold on, let me think about it for a week. yeah, that might be a little bit bad. But if you guys went out to, like, you know, try a new thing, like you both go ice skating for the first time, and you know, she has to sort of think about, like, was that fun or not? Did I like that or not? Like, yeah, it'd be okay to give her a day to kind of think about it. Like, damn.
Well,
All
I
right.
love the analogy, by the way.
everyone that I talked to, I asked them, you know, what would you like to say to everyone watching? You know, whether advice, guidance, a statement, you know, what would you like to tell everyone?
What's your channel? You know what I'm gonna do, man.
Oh my god. It's Ryan Heels.
Subscribe to Ryan Heels, man. Okay, tell everybody, take it slow. Life's not a race. You can take your time becoming who you want to be. And even if you don't become who you had in your head, it's fine. You know, you don't have to be perfect. You're definitely gonna find somebody out there that will love who you are. Even if you're not this superhero or this super cool chill guy that you envisioned in your head, just make sure that you're doing everything that you can to not hurt others or yourself, especially hurting yourself, because you will very quickly fall into a bad place if you don't work on yourself and make sure that you're trying to be happy and stay happy. And yeah, just don't let yourself go. That's it.
Oh my god, I'm gonna do it
there,
for you.
okay?
Jesus Christ.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alright.
You've already lost, Ryan. You already lost. What you gonna do now, huh? You can't win. You can't win.
You didn't even
Yeah,
make
that's
a
right.
move. You didn't even make a move. What you talking
It's
about?
right. It's right there. It's here in the corner. Can you not see it? Right here. See, you lost. Yeah, that's right. You lost. Can't do shit.
No. No.
Yeah, they call me the tic-tac-toe master.
Is it possible?
Yeah, that's right. Commit seppuku. Good.